Hello everyone on the internet and thanks for tuning in. I am RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku.
And welcome to another episode of Toku Bros. I am Dragon Zeron of the Tokusatsu Media Center.
Checkmate!
And welcome to another episode where we'll be talking about KIRA MAAA GER, episodes 5 and 6.
We certainly will be. So actually, you got the Japanese hand number thing you got that down, didn't you? That's pretty good. I like that. Well, I mean, talking of which, I mean, when it comes to the whole, before we start talking about episodes 5 and 6, let's actually talk about a few of the things that have been going on in Sentai news recently. Firstly, and I know you've got no information on this. There was a reveal from a set of jigsaw puzzles that's going to be released in Japan, showing the English transliteration or romaji of the way that each ranger name is going to be said. So when they revealed the copyright to KIRA MAAA GER, everyone was using the transliteration MEI. Even when it came to the group name KIRA MAAA GER, they then came out with the transliteration where it was just MAGER, which was kind of fair enough. But now that they've come out with this transliteration with MAI for each individual ranger, so KIRA MAAA Red, KIRA MAAA Blue, even though that's not how it's said, it is a little bit unusual. And it has had a little bit of a viral reaction amongst fans. What are your first impressions of hearing this?
I actually think they might have gotten somebody from England possibly to do this type of thing.
England? Are you blaming us?
Well, sometimes you guys do transliterate or add letters to names and stuff like.
I can't believe this. You're blaming us. No,
the thing is, there's British English and there's American English.
Yes, I'm aware of that, but don't be blaming this on us. I mean, right, so just to kind of go over a little bit of history. I mean, when it comes to transliteration in the Toei 2 specifically, normally, I'd say in recent years they do tend to hit the nail on the head quite well, but then things like, hyphenating Zio and Go Onja, sometimes it's unnecessary. And then even when they go with a proper English spelling, so like, for example, they did Engine Sentai Go Onja, and they've done Machine Sentai. Sometimes they'll actually disregard the way that they will transpose hiragana, katakana, kanji into romaji, and just go with the complete proper English spelling. On this occasion, whoever's fault it may be, that it's not on the button on this occasion.
Well, it could be like Go Ranger. If you don't remember, sometimes they were pronouncing Go Ranger, like GORENGER instead of
That's it, because even transliterated, I have seen both. I actually think Go Ranger is the official one, but I could be wrong on that one. The way they do this transliteration from time to time, it is very hit and miss. It will be interesting to see, if we could see who's responsible for doing transliteration and romaji, etc. In the tokusatsu world behind the scenes.
I've always wondered that as well, because unlike Ultraman or something, they actually have like a normal set person that they have, and it's usually very simple, Unlike Sentai, it's
the thing is, just to quickly cover Ultraman before going on to the next topic, I'll say that I remember seeing the Ultraman reveal being Zeto, and then when I go online to look, it is literally just the letter Z or Z, as the American English says Z, whereas the British English will say Z. But I think when it comes to when it comes to Japanese learning English, where they primarily learn from Americans, they do say they do kind of go between saying Z and Z.
When they do song translation, they use they do different types of things. They might change the word to be for example, Mazinger Z. We call it Mazinger Z, But like in Japan, they call it Mazinga Z or Zeto or.
I can't say I know, but again, it's a very interesting point to bring up, and maybe people can tell us what they think. But okay, like moving on to KIRA MAAA GER, or however it's supposed to be spelt or pronounced. It's kind of interesting to see that, following current news, that I will use the Japanese pronunciation. KIRA MAAA Red is actually out of hospital.
Yeah, well, actually, I heard now that he's actually been cured. He's totally okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've heard as well. I think everyone can say that they are truly glad that he's out of hospital, and we just hope that, well, not just Japan but the rest of the world can recover from what is an absolute mess.
Pandemic. Yeah,
a mess of a pandemic. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we try to
Yeah, go on.
Like, we try to, avoid it, but it eventually would affect people, the stories and the episodes and whatnot, because it's one of those types of things where this will change everything the Toku industry would do, You can't do something dark after something like this. Because look at Go Buster, that suffered because it was right after the earthquake.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I did notice that, and again, it's such a shame as well, because it was such a good show. I remember, Time Force being affected because of 9/11.
They will not do a series season for a while, because, this will affect everybody, you know what I mean? Because they will be in our history book.
Let's go on to the bulk of the show, episodes 5 and 6.
So episode 5, we have Yellow, more of his Zord. It's more of a story of his Zord.
The mecha, yeah.
Yeah, and basically his Zord is wanting him to become the main leader of Sentai, which is something we don't really get to see that often, where basically the Zord itself is wanting the Yellow Ranger to become the leader and not the Red Senshi. So they end up playing along and basically been they fool the yellow guy, the yellow mecha, because he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. It's kind of funny how they trick the cameras into thinking, oh, Yellow's in trouble because he's not the leader and whatnot. And you're like, oh my god, I'm sorry, KIRA MAAA Red, let me help. I'll follow you and we'll form our own.
Just to give a summary of what I thought of episode 5 and 6, is that they were softballs in terms of integrity and depth, and even the way that they should have been presented, considering that we previously had episodes with the death of the father of Mabushina and the guy becoming the dinosaur trained thing, right? Yeah, the uncle. So I'd say in terms of darkness and depth and integrity and sort of grippedness, if you will, that they were softballs, but I'll still say that I enjoyed them. I mean, whether you want to put it down to controversial, unprecedented times in real life right now, I'd still say that they were still very enjoyable episodes. And kind of episode 5 with the 3 new mecha that we're introduced to that kind of take precedent with being associated with the Yellow Ranger, with KIRA MAAA Yellow. It was very cliche in the way that they all kind of were let's conspire against KIRA MAAA Red, or rather the Yellow mecha was doing that. And I liked a lot of the comedy in this particular episode. I mean, especially where he tried to make out that the Yellow Ranger could do his own Sentai. Did remind me of Aber Ranger, and when the monsters in Aber Ranger wanted to do their own Sentai. So it kind of reminded me of that kind of goofy comedy kind of thing. And it's kind of weird that a mecha would have that kind of hostility towards the Red Ranger not being a good enough leader, which I think even now it seems 5 episodes in, it's still this theme that is the Red Ranger a good enough leader. And I think even though it's not got that depth or pizzazz of a dark episode,
at least not yet.
Well, at least not yet. I mean, again, apart from maybe the episode not too long ago that had Mabushina get the white crystal for her uncle that was apparently going between personalities. But I'd still say that, it had again, it had the enjoyability, it had the comedy, and it could have done a little bit better in terms of, being, gripping someone a bit, gripping us a bit more. But, I'd say it was, again, a very nice soft boy. Again, it just kind of hits on this repeated theme of, is Red a good enough leader? What do you think about Red being a good leader 6 episodes in?
I think he has potential. I'm not going to say anything yet because we're still really, really early into the show, and we have to wait for him to show his true colors as the Red Sentry, you know what I mean? But basically, I think after when they give him an arc or have him do the first duel with the uncle, then I think we'll probably get something. Hell, I don't know if you saw, but in the episode, I think they even said that him and the father actually have a connection. So I'm thinking maybe the father may have put himself in his conscious, and maybe later
that's a bit cliche, but I can see that happening. But who knows? I mean, again,
we're very early.
the Sentai and Rider of old would come up with these really amazing plot twists. And if they were to go down that road, it would be a bit cliche, but who knows? I mean, so on to episode 6. I'm gonna start talking about how, they've made this a focus episode on Pink Ranger, which again, the fact that they are doing these focus episodes is a bit cliche in general, which, to be fair, they kind of did that in, they were doing that in Ryu Soldier. They're clearly doing this in KIRA MAAA GER, but at least in something like Q Ranger, where there were so many of them, they really had to be sporadic about it, or they had to be clever about it, where they'd do stories of 2 Rangers at the same time, which again, I don't think we'll be getting anything like that anytime soon. I mean, you could say that episode 5 was yellow and red. But at least, with episode 6, we've got our sort of feminine based on the Pink Ranger episode. And they really went all out in this, in that, they've done this whole cliche, amnesia. It's one of those cliche amnesia episodes. And, not only that, but they kind of shoehorned that, in my opinion, they shoehorned that in with this very outdated Monster of the Week where it was a camera. And, straight off, so just to quickly do the actual synopsis still. So we've got a camera monster that's taking photos of everyone and sending them to a little dimension, which, again, has been done before. And then you've got Pink Ranger, who hits her head, has amnesia, and then regains a memory at the end, spoiler alert, which, again, is cliched. So they've put 2 cliches in one episode.
I would have liked to... I wonder how the series would have been if she had ended up being a 5-year-old for a while,
But this is the thing as well. So, I guess the twist is that normally, I can't say we've ever seen... I can't recall, in Heisei Sentai where they have the amnesia, but it goes back so far. Normally, it's just a complete amnesia, who am I? Whereas this is I'm 5 years old, I've lost everything past 5 years old. And so, finding this sensei in a random dojo a billion years later, who to me actually does look familiar.
It's Goshi from Zyuranger.
Really? Mammoth Ranger? Goshi. I was thinking he looked familiar. No, because I'm watching, he looks familiar. And we are going to be talking about cameos later. But yeah, I knew he looked familiar.
I hope they bring in more cameos after this pandemic.
We'll talk about that in a bit. But, okay, so, they go to this random dojo, and, little thing that triggers the memory. And even though it didn't quite trigger the memory, it just kind of triggered the emotion. And then she conveniently hit her head again at the end of the episode, which, I don't know, it's Sentai's no stranger to going down that Power Ranger style route, but still, what are you going to do?
I don't usually see big actors from Sentai get, super big, for example, Joe Odagiri, or the guy from Kabuto, or Kamen Rider Deno, for example. I haven't really seen anybody from Sentai get big to the point where they weren't able to come back.
Well, I mean, you gotta remember, because you were talking about Yuta Mochizuki. He was Tyranno Ranger. No, he was... yeah, he was Tyranno Ranger, then he became Kamen Rider
J.
Yeah, so again, when it comes to Sentai actors, they tend to go... I mean, like Hurricane Blue went on to be a big... she went on to a big modelling career.
Mm-hmm. But even then, like, name somebody in the last 10 years who got, like, super big.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Alright, so what did you think? I mean, the fact is, we were introduced to New Mecha in episode 5, but I don't really recall seeing them in episode 6.
Yeah, the Zord kind of disappeared after that. Sure, they appear for the mecha combination thing, but after, it was just more here, like, they kind of threw it to the side. And that's probably going to be the case with a lot. Hell, I'm actually starting to doubt we might not even have a Sixth Ranger this season.
I don't know, I mean, considering, like, what the stuff that I saw prior to our previous episode, like, I'd be surprised if it was an April Fool's joke, but, them doing, like, a Black Ranger, whether it is, like, a sort of Death Ryuja style uncle doing it kind of thing, but, there are vague rumours of a Silver Ranger, but who knows?
Yeah, we don't really know for sure. And with how everything is going now and how scams are going out, we probably won't be getting a lot of information.
To wrap up the episode, I wanted to talk about cameo appearances in Sentai. Now, I mean, again, because even with KIRA MAAA GER having, like, these vibes of all these different series anyway, the one thing that I think we've glossed out, we haven't really addressed, is the fact that the guy who's actually the mentor to KIRA MAAA GER's is actually
I have a
Pikataro.
pen. I have an apple. Oh, apple pen.
Right, so how do you think he's actually doing as their mentor, or just in general?
He's actually a pretty decent actor, like, when he's
I'm not gonna lie,
outside.
I absolutely adore him. I actually think he's doing really good as mentor. I mean, it's very subtle, it's not like in your face. Considering his pineapple apple pen guy, he's actually, they've put him in subtly enough that he's actually pretty good at what he does. And I've got to admit, I'm actually impressed.
And, like, I do hope that hopefully later in the show they might bring his character Pikataro onto the show.
I don't know about that.
That'd be a pretty good...
But not only that, but alright, so we've had, and again, like, I'm just so happy you told me it was Mammoth Ranger. So we had Mammoth Ranger appear in episode 6. But then, as well, we've got to remember that KIRA MAAA Pink herself...
It's canon from Kamen Rider Ghost.
Ghost, yes.
I love Canon. Like, I liked her and her brother, but
I'll be honest, I didn't really rate Canon. She's alright. She played the role she had to play. It's like, fine. But again, I didn't really take any notice of her. I mean, I know a few Kamen Rider fans did, but I was just like, meh. And then, like, so I'm thinking Ryu Soldier, we had, like, appearances from Time Red, and then apparently some of the other actors were, Time Red is, to me, cause Time Red is my favourite Sentai, that Time Red appeared was a big deal for me personally. So how do you feel about, so were there any other notable appearances in Sentai that, apart from things like Bokenger and Go Kaiju obviously had everyone appear in both of those. And I think even Hurricane had a lot of cameo appearances, but were there any non-anniversary or non-homage Sentais that had guest appearances? Which one?
Jojo.
Well, that was an anniversary episode, but who specifically?
I think a few think Galred. No, not Galred. But
well, in Zyuohger, they had like a web series featuring Gokaiger.
And yeah, Kusaka from Kamen Rider 5. Yeah, he was the guest.
Of course. Yeah, of course I remember. I remember now, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, so...
The thing is, I didn't really rate Zyuohger the series, so again, I'd have glossed over that. I mean, for me, again, I would probably say overall, and again, you know, it was anniversary team up, but seeing Geki reappear in Go Busters versus Kyoryuger and just like everything they did in that movie was definitely the best team up movie that I've seen, full stop. And all the cameo appearances that happened, and even the voice appearances from the other 4 Zyuohgers, that to me was very special.
I hope they do something like that for this series. You know, I think after what happened, I think they're going to try to bring in more cameos. Maybe it might even become an anniversary.
I heard rumors that they were going to try and make it kind of anniversary style thing, but I mean, if they had included Ninja Captor, this would have been the 45th.
You know, I'm still going to hold hope that they might add that series one day to Sentai.
Well, I mean, they did sub it for Tokusatsu World, didn't they, on YouTube?
But it's not considered a part of the Sentai series, you know?
I know. What's wrong with them? Oh well. I
heard it's a different production company and with
I think
Toei.
It's still Toei, is it not?
I think it might have been a duo. It was 2 different companies, Toei and something else. Because I know Battle Fever J was with Marvel, and I think Go-Ranger and Jacka was Ishinomori Productions. And I don't think Ninja Captor was a part of any of those, so that's why I'm probably not going to join them, unless they decide to do something where they decide to join the Sentai.
Well, it'd be good to hear what other people think of what they consider great team-ups. So, thanks everyone for watching another amazing episode of Toku Bros. And just to run over the quick outro as per, I am RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku. There it is. I am on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Instagram, and my WordPress account, which is a bit small there, ryukivatoku.wordpress.com, and of course I am on Patreon, where I will be doing subscription content for things like fan subbing, so do pay attention to that. And then we've got my boy, well, there's this channel as well, Toku Bros, gotta remember us. We're at Twitter at Toku Bros 71, and we are on Facebook and Instagram as well as this very YouTube channel. And of course, what are you doing? And then of course my boy Dragon Zeron, who's from the Tokusatsu Media Center. He is on YouTube and Instagram as well. His Twitter is DragonZeron71. And he's also on Patreon mainly for his music content, are you not?
If that gets off the ground, so...
Of course.
Just working on it.
Just keep working on it, my man. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we hope to see you all next time.
Bye-bye!